What's going on, my Jets family? I want to thank you for tuning in to the Take Flight Spit and Fire podcast. So, big news for you. If you hadn't heard yesterday, Denzel Mims' agent requested a trade. His agent was talking about how he's not a starter, right, which we know. He's not a starter in this offense. Talked about how he's been working really, really hard. He wants an opportunity and doesn't see that opportunity happening here. Now, we weren't really that surprised, right? We've been talking for a little while now about the potential of a Denzel Mims trade, right? Saying that like his agent kind of reiterated that he's not a starter right now. Right? We saw last year, last year coming in, we thought he was really going to be the guy after his rookie season and the year he had. Then the illness setting him back, the problems he had, and we talked all about that. I'm gonna circle back to that. But so Denzel Mims' agent said that he wants to that he is requesting a trade. But the big news as well today is the Jets confirmed that they're willing to give that to him. According to Connor Hughes said that the Jets are potentially willing to give Denzel Mims a trade and are open to hearing offers. Depends what they're going to get. Now, they made it clear they're not just going to give him away, and that's completely understandable. There's no reason to just give him away. He's under his rookie contract. He's still in deal with us, right? He's not a starting wide receiver, but he's still a player on this team. He's still a contributing wide receiver on this team. There's no reason to just give him away because, as we also know, Zach Wilson's going to be coming back soon. He needs as many weapons as possible, right? We saw that in the Super Bowl last year. Your quarterback needs as many weapons as possible to succeed, to be successful. So having more weapons is a good thing, right? So this is big news because, as the Jets said, they are willing to trade him, but they're not just going to give him away. So, as you know, the Denzel Mims story go, and we could talk about that just a little bit. We all know, remember, we were super excited about the potential that he brought last year, right? We were super excited about him going into his second year. And we talked about all, spinning it in his perspective, right? Spinning it in Denzel's perspective, that he got really, really sick. Right? He wasn't able to build up that lower body strength. Remember we talked about that Robert Saleh said is really, really crucial for wide receivers. He wasn't able to get that, so he was never physically where he needed to be, and he was behind. He didn't learn the playbook. He didn't know things, and we tried to give him the benefit of the doubt, saying, well, all those penalties he had, all those, misalignments he had and offsides and everything could be because he doesn't know the playbook. But let's flip this another way for a second, because again, we've tried to spin it positively, because this is a young kid who was a top draft pick of ours. We expected the world for him, right? We thought he could be really great. He's a 6'3" wide receiver with outstanding speed. In his rookie season, he looked really good. In his rookie season, we were like, damn, this could be a maybe potential wide receiver one. Let's see what he develops into. So we have the positive spin, again, where we've said, this offseason, he's in a lot better shape. He's physically where he needs to be. His body's where it's supposed to be now, and he's looked a lot better. So we were hoping to see the Denzel Mims we were hoping to see last season. Remember, we said last season was kind of an outlier compared to his whole career. But now, again, he wants a trade. Let's look at it from the negative. From the negative is Denzel Mims was terrible last year, right? Denzel Mims, I'm pretty confident, not 100% sure, but I believe he had more penalty yards last year than he actually had receiving yards. He struggled. He couldn't wake his way into the starting offense. And this is a player that was, as we remember in 2020, was considered a potential first-round pick. So yes, there was illness. Yes, the lower body strength, getting himself ready. But we can't ignore the fact that he didn't play last year that much, right? When he did play, he looked very bad, and he couldn't work his way up this depth chart. So we have Elijah Moore and we have Garrett Wilson. Two guys that we believe, these guys are going to be stars. Love the potential of these two kids. Could be 1,000-yard receivers for a long time, right? Corey Davis was on par last year for a 1,000-yard season. He's looked really, really good in camp. We still have Braxton Berrios. And we got a bunch of young guys. Maybe Jeff Smith wants to make the team, but we have even younger guys that have looked really good, like Irvin Charles, like Tariq Black, like Calvin Jackson. So there's a lot of guys that really want to make this roster. So with Mims being buried behind Corey Davis, behind, excuse me, oh, sorry, that's my phone ringing, behind Elijah Moore, behind Garrett Wilson. He's buried on that depth chart. So again, we look at it from the negative. He wasn't able to make it last year. He had his opportunity and he hasn't shown. And he's complaining. He's upset. He's like, I want to start. But as we know in this team, Robert Saleh doesn't give anything away. He said that last year. You have to earn it. And clearly Denzel Mims wasn't able to earn it last year. Well, now again, we got Garrett Wilson, 10th overall pick in this last draft, ton of potential. We got Elijah Moore. He's definitely behind them, behind Corey Davis. He's buried. He's not getting time with the starters, and he wants a trade. It's understandable, but at the same time, now the question is, what can we get for him, right? What can we get for Denzel Mims? So we see guys in the past, like Brian Edwards that was traded, that had better production than him. We see a lot of other things in the past, that can maybe be indicators. One of the rumors right now, potentially, is the Carolina Panthers. Remember, Matt Rule's their coach, and he has a connection with Denzel Mims from Baylor, right? So, and also, having, obviously, Sam Darnold's not their guy, but having that past connection with the Jets, maybe that can be enough, right? Maybe he believed in 2020 when he thought he might come in as the head coach that, excuse me, maybe he really believed in Denzel Mims, obviously, as one of his former guys. So, that could be a big one, potentially, to the Carolina Panthers. There's a lot of different trades, a lot of different possibilities that can happen. But as of right now, there's a lot of different options. Could the Jets keep Denzel Mims? Yeah, they could choose to keep Denzel Mims if they don't get an offer that they feel is good enough. Because again, why give the kid away? He's part of this offense. Again, we want to give Zach Wilson as many weapons and, options as he has. If no one's offering anything good, why trade him, right? But then again, at the same time, maybe if you can get a 5th-round pick, yes, he was a high draft pick, but look what the Jets have done these last couple of years. We got Michael Clemens as a later round pick. We got Jeremy Ruckert. Years before, we got guys like Brandon Echols, right? And Michael Carter II. So there's always guys to get. So it's going to be interesting to see what Joe Douglas does. Now, we know Joe Douglas is a trade monster, right? We know Joe Douglas pulls off unbelievable trades. Getting a draft pick for Blake Cashman, who literally is on career injured reserve. What he did for Jamal Adams. Just the list goes on and on and on and on. Joe Douglas is unbelievable at trades, pulls off magic. Once he gets off the phone, I've joked about this before, the other GM probably immediately wants to file an incident report because they're like, oh my God, I was just robbed. I don't know what Joe did, but he got me. So we don't know what could happen. So potential trades, right? We talk about the Carolina Panthers, right? That's a potential option, especially with the history that Mims has with their head coach, with Baylor and everything. But at the same time, we're going to have to see how this plays out. But the facts are that, again, yesterday, Denzel Mims said that he's not happy, which, like we talked about, is understandable, right? He wants to be a starter in this league. But we come at it from the Jets' perspective, right? We got Garrett Wilson, like we said. We got Elijah Moore. We got Corey Davis. We got all of our guys. Nothing's given away. He has to earn it, and he hasn't. That's been the answer. He has to earn it, and he has not. So he wants to move on now. Like we said, we go through all these guys, Elijah Moore, Garrett Wilson, Corey Davis, Braxton Berrios, and then you still got these young guys like Tariq Black, Calvin Jackson, Irvin Charles, that have flashed and shown potential. So if Mims is buried on the depth chart, it could make more sense to let, those younger guys get an opportunity and see what we can get for him. But again, Joe's not just going to give him away. So we're going to have to see what we can do. But this is a very interesting situation. It's going to be something to monitor. But obviously the animosity is boiled over. Obviously Mims isn't happy. But like we talked about before, this is his doing, right? He chose to, unfortunately, obviously he didn't give himself food poisoning on purpose. But last year it happened to him. He had to work his way back. He couldn't. Nothing's given away, right? And this year he's not a starter either. He's looked really, really good in camp, but he's not. So this will be something interesting to monitor. So I appreciate you guys tuning in. Hope you enjoyed the content. If you could subscribe to the channel, that'd be greatly appreciated. And we'll be watching this and monitoring this as this goes.